Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Comedy Cellar Football Show and The Contender with a K, the app that offers live sports talk and never plays any commercials. Download it today. Hello, my name is Dave Juskow. It is coming up on week 4 in the NFL. Already, as we all know, the season goes way too fast. Now we're already at the end of September, and thank God it's National Drink a Beer Day because I think we're going to need it. Although I did really well this week, so I don't need it that much. But we have a really terrific show, as always, planned for you today. Coming in a little later, we have model and actress and comedian Kate Herman will be joining us, and she knows, trust me, everything about fantasy football. I don't know why, I don't know how, but it's a thing. And then later, comedian Nick Griffin is one of my best pals, and he will be joining us to make the picks, the 7 o'clock hour. I hope everybody had a really good Sunday and Monday. Last night's game was a big success for Dave Juskow, as he really liked the Cowboys at home as his best bet. That and the Titans. Of course, unfortunately, I also said, well, I can't wait till Monday night, so I'll parlay it with the Raiders. And that was a disaster. I lost by half a point, and that makes me want to cry. Where's National Drink a Beer Day again? Maybe I do need it. Oh, that sucked. They were favored by 3.5. And let me tell you something. I could have done it at 2.5, but I got greedy. And I decided to take the 3.5. And they were winning by, I think, 6 with 20 seconds to go. Isn't that always the way in the National Football League? But what are you going to do, you know? Meanwhile, I went to the tailgate on Sunday. I mean, I went to the Giants game, but I didn't go inside because I really don't like going inside. I just like hanging out at the tailgate. I like to watch football at home on TV like everybody else. I don't know what's going on there. I've told you before, every week people get up, they get down. They're just like, I'm always moving around. It's not fun. So I like to go to the tailgate and appreciate the tailgate, the fun, the drinking, the food, everything about it, getting up early. I mean, I set my alarm yesterday. I haven't set my alarm in 2 years. So if you're going to set it for like waking up to drink, that's good. Because I think the last time I set it was about a year ago or this summer to go to the beach. So, if you have to set an alarm to let you know it's time to start drinking, then that's a pretty good lifestyle you're leading, one would think. But yeah, I went to the tailgate with my friends, and I have photos that I will share with you later. And the strangest thing happened is we were there, and we got this new section. Our guest Lenny Marcus was there, who was last week. He works for the Giants, so he always comes in and says hello and has a couple of scallops because we make scallops on the grill, and they're delicious. And we moved this section, so it's much further away, but it's easier to get out, and it's also easier to put the grill in. There's just a lot more room. So we moved to this other section. I think it's G25 from G13. So Lenny was already annoyed, but he's annoyed at everything. That's his entire act. But then when we got there was some guy like kind of in our space, but it was the strangest group of guys. We've never seen them before, and it's as if they were toying with us in a way. It was they were set up with like they looked online and said, what do you need to have the proper tailgate? And the guy had a Party City tent, not a Giants tent. Everybody has a Giants tent or something other sports related. It was a Party City tent. And then he was wearing a Sunday Fun Day shirt. Just very strange things to wear at a New York Giants or, well, any football team tailgate, as if this is what he was told to do by the internet. However, they were very nice because our guys, well, we're idiots. And we didn't prepare properly, and we forgot utensils and napkins and all the kind of stuff you always forget when you're just trying to think, do we have enough alcohol? So they were kind enough to lend us like grilling tools and possibly a propane tank, which is the real bummer. If you're sitting there and the plan is to grill and you forgot the propane tank. I don't want to go into it. Sometimes that's why I stopped going. I just can't take the incompetentness. Everybody knows I just bring the box of Joe from Dunkin' Donuts and beer for myself. That's my job. It's easy for me. If somebody told me, can you bring paper towels? I'd bring paper towels. Unfortunately, I know these guys are always going to not bring paper towels, so I bring my own paper towel just in my back pocket. I even have one here. I'm always packing because I like napkins. And I can't stand when people don't give me napkins. I think I mentioned this before. It drives me crazy. I like having my hands clean. Way before COVID, I've always liked my hands clean. My mother used to tell me when I was a kid, like, boy, they used to call you Mr. Clean. You just always had clean hands. I'm like, yeah, that's right. I don't know why. Sticky hands are gross. That's why it's hard. It's funny that I like chicken wings so much because, it's gross, but they're delicious. Anyway, so we're sitting there, we're having a good time, and they're playing good music. Again, they must have looked up what people in New Jersey want to hear. So they're playing songs from like Boston, the band Boston, Tom Petty, Clarence Clearwater, all the stuff that you play at a tailgate, even though one of our guys likes to play the BPM channel. I don't know what that's all about, but he could be heavy on cocaine. But anyway, they're playing all the right stuff. And then all of a sudden they start playing Gloria. You remember that song from the 80s? Is it Laura Branigan? Because I know every song from the 80s. I think it's Laura Branigan. I didn't look it up. But, like calling Gloria, Gloria, Gloria. And then they blasted it. And we think they turned it to us. So I don't know what message they were sending, but I do have video of it, and I'll show you later. It's very odd tailgate. But meanwhile, I drank a lot of vodka, and then I went home. It was great. That's exactly what I wanted to do. And then I think I took a bath. And then I watched the game, or did I fall asleep? I don't remember. I had so much money riding in the games, I think I turned off the TV, which is not what you want to do when you're doing a football show. But, I watched the recaps, especially on Monday night, where I watch Peyton Manning and Eli Manning do their show on ESPN2, which was very entertaining. Very entertaining. But let me talk about a couple of other things before I run out of my opening monologue time. I don't know whether you heard, but, well, first of all, do you know who Spencer Eldon is? He was the baby on the Nirvana Nevermind cover. And he has been suing, and you probably heard about this, whoever, it was child porn. I'm at fault. This is awful. You guys suck. I mean, what a douchebag, right? Yeah, it's douchebag. But he grew up good looking. So again, you're wondering what is his beef with being on the most iconic album cover maybe ever, maybe the top 5. It's the baby in the pool. And that now he wants it all removed from all the upcoming, because they're having like a 35th or 40th anniversary. I don't know how many years it is. It's not 25th. Maybe it's 25th. I don't know. They're having like a new release, and he's like, no. And I don't know what the guy's so pissed off about, because you would think you would use that as a badge of honor. You'd be like, yeah, I'm that baby on there. In fact, I've been telling women I'm the baby on the Nirvana cover for years, because who's going to know? Except that the timeline doesn't really work out very well.
Anyone that can do math.
Well, right. My baby pictures are in black and white, so how they would get a color picture of myself as a baby would be the first test. But the only thing I can think of is that he still has a baby penis, and it never grew into an adult penis, and this is the issue. Because what possible other reason could there be to not want to say you're the baby on the Nirvana album cover?
I can't think of one other than his older brother makes fun of him for it still at Thanksgiving.
Ooh, be like, well, you're not on any cover. Yeah, man, that would be my response. But yeah, that's the only thing I can think about. Is his penis is still very tiny, and women are like, oh my God, it's the same penis from the picture. Shut up, shut up. That's all I got, because I can't figure out what would make this guy so angry. On another note that involves women who guys get crazy for, John Hinckley, you remember the guy that tried to assassinate President Reagan?
Mm-hmm.
They're letting him out of jail, which is very confusing, because you would think if you try to assassinate the president, there wouldn't be any probation period. Like, that's the one thing where they're not going to give you a break. My guess is the only reason they're giving him a break is because he didn't die, but he did murder James Brady. They considered it a homicide, even though he lived long. So I don't understand why he's getting. I feel like if you're trying to assassinate the president, you don't get a second chance. Like, that's the one thing. You don't get a second chance. But the weird part is that they say that the conditions, which if you have to be told these conditions, you shouldn't be released. He's like, listen, you can't get in touch with any of the Reagan kids. And you cannot get in touch with Jodie Foster. Because if you remember correctly, he did this to impress Jodie Foster. Now, if you need to be told that, you shouldn't be released from prison, Exhibit A. But also, you shouldn't be, what?
He wasn't found guilty because of insanity. So that's what they're...
How was he not found guilty? What more do you need?
I don't know. I mean, he was never actually found guilty because he pled insanity. So now they're saying he's no longer insane. So that's what he's being released from.
Here's why he's insane forever. You're trying to impress Jodie Foster, okay? It's 1981. Why you'd be trying to impress Jodie Foster, I can't figure out, because it's 1981. I did the math on that. And if I was trying to impress somebody by, for some reason, thinking assassinating the president is a good plan, I would do it for Erin Gray, who was in Buck Rogers, Wilman Buck Rogers, or Belinda Carlisle of the Go-Go's. But most of all, and this is the sure thing, one I would try to impress, would be Heather Thomas from The Fall Guy. And quite frankly, Lee Majors from that same show, because I'm in love with him from The $6 Million Man. But that's a whole nother story. But yes, I'd be doing it for Heather Thomas, and that is where anybody could be like, well, the Jodie Foster thing makes me think he shouldn't be going anywhere. I mean, I'm sure she's a lovely person. But
maybe that's how they know he's no longer insane. He's like, you know what? She's not that great.
maybe. How about Deborah Harry?